Aloha, my sunshines! Thanks for joining me again today on Story Time with Tutu Malia. Today's story is called Puapualenalena, and it's a traditional moʻolelo or story that comes from Hawaiʻi.
Puapualenalena and the Magic Kiha-Pū by Guy and Pam Buffett, illustrated by Guy Buffett. Adapted from Hawaiian moʻolelo. In the days when Olopana was the ruling chief of Waipio, there lived a chiefess named Lu'ukia. Coconut palms shaded her hale near the sacred temple Puapualenalena. The valley was filled with her people, Hawaiians farming their kalo and fishing in the sea. Far back in the valley, the twin falls of Hiʻilave thundered over the cliffs by Lu'ukia's royal ava patch. Tended by her two loyal servants, Keikoa and Kamalu, the ava patch grew no ordinary plants, but special ones with roots from which a drink of peace and happiness was brewed. The valley was the most beautiful on the island of Hawaii. Chiefess Lu'ukia had lands and people loyal and loved by her. The images of the gods reared proud and fierce inside the stone walls of the heiau, Puapualenalena. Yet, Lu'ukia and her people were not happy. The valley of Waipio was an uneasy place. This had not always been so. Once, chiefs and commoners slept every night knowing that the magic trumpet, Kiha-Pū, the conch shell of the ruling chief Kiha, guarded them all. Kiha-Pū was a conch blown only by those with mana. It warned the chiefs and people of disaster, a tidal wave, the approach of an enemy. It summoned the aid of the gods when famine struck. It was a sacred treasure of Waipio, adorned with the teeth of the slain enemies of Kiha. Sometimes Kiha-Pū sounded like the shrieks of warriors dying in battle. Sometimes it was like strong winds in the forest. Sometimes it shattered the peace of the valley like seas thundering against tall cliffs. Before the birth of the chiefess Lu'ukia, Waipio had lost its magic guardian. Uhane, the spirits of the night, had stolen Kiha-Pū and taken it to a secret place. Since then, neither chiefs nor villagers slept well. No one knew when the voice of Kiha-Pū might jar their sleep with another Uhane trick. Once trusted by all, the sound of Kiha-Pū was now dreaded by those who lived in the valley. The dream of Chiefess Lu'ukia was to find where the Uhane kept the conch trumpet and return it to its rightful place in Puapualenalena heiau. Then, Kiha-Pū could once again be blown by those with mana. There would be sleep without fear in the valley of Waipio. One morning, Keikoa, one of the servants, was gathering ava for Lu'ukia and found that the choicest plants were gone. He raced to tell her. Lu'ukia was furious. She knew her people loved to drink ava, but to steal from the royal ava patch was punishable by death. Night and day, Keikoa and Kamalu guarded the ava patch. On the night of the full moon, a big white dog with brownish yellow spots walked into the ava patch. Skillfully, he stole the choicest of the ava plants. The dog raced down the valley to the beach, Spears in hand, Kekoa and Kamalu quietly followed. When they reached the village of Honokohao, the dog disappeared into a small hale. Peering through the sides of the hale, Kekoa and Kamalu watched the dog prepare the ava root for drinking. "This dog is Puapualenalena, the mysterious one," they whispered. "A kupua. There is nothing he cannot do." They watched as the dog served the ava to a bent old man sitting in the corner. His back was so crippled it seemed covered with hills and valleys. Over his misty eyes hung eyebrows like great pieces of thatch. As the first sip was being taken, the men burst in. Kekoa and Kamalu brought the two before Chiefess Lu'ukia and told her the strange story. Pointing to them, she said, "You shall both die. Prepare the imu." The words were no sooner spoken than the kahuna, whose wisdom she respected, leaned forward and said, "Oh, Chiefess, will you not hear the old man?" Lu'ukia hesitated. "Very well," she said, "speak. Your dog has stolen my sacred ava plants. You have drunk the ava that is kapu. What can you possibly have to say to me?" "Oh, Chiefess," the old man's voice was strong, though his body trembled. "This dog is no ordinary animal. My wife and I found him as a pup and raised him. We were childless. He became like our son. When he sees that I want ava, he brings some for me. I thought he brought wild roots. Oh, Chiefess, he did not know the ava patch was yours. I pray you, spare my dog. He meant no wrong." Once more, the kahuna stepped forward and said, "Long life to you, Chiefess Lu'ukia. This is no common beast. His eyes glow with great wisdom. I believe he is Puapualenalena, the mysterious one." Looking into the dog's eyes, Lu'ukia said, "Old man, if your dog can bring me Kiha-Pū by morning, your lives will be spared." The old man turned to Puapualenalena and said, "Can you do this?" Puapualenalena wagged his tail and with his eyes told the old man that he understood. Puapualenalena made himself a kukui nut torch. He started up the trail from the valley to Kukui Ha'ele. "Away!" he panted at the top of the trail. "How foolish! I should have made myself bigger. I could have made the climb in half the time." His wet nose sniffed the air. In the distance, above a high rock wall, he saw the glow of a fire. "This must be the secret place of the uhane. How can I get inside?" thought Puapualenalena. "The entrance is closed with pū-lo'u-lo'u. I could make myself tall and step over the wall, but surely they would see me." Puapualenalena searched until he found a small hole between the stones at the base of the wall. "Li'ili'au, I am small." At once, he became the size of a mouse and wriggled through a puka into the uhane camp. The uhane were gathered around the fire, plotting their next trick. Puapualenalena heard them talking about the magic conch shell. He was certain Kiha-Pū must be inside the walls. "If I am going to find Kiha-Pū, I must get them to fall asleep before dawn," thought Puapualenalena. "I'll change back to my own size. I'll start a dance contest. That should tire them out." Wagging his tail and shaking a pair of uli, Puapualenalena began to dance the hula. His dog-teeth anklets clicked to the rhythm. The ohane screamed with laughter. A dancing dog? No dog would outdance them. Soon they were dancing wildly, each trying to outlast the other. It was dawn before the last of the uhane fell into exhausted sleep. At the far end of the camp, Puapualenalena could see a bamboo tower. Atop it was an enormous conch shell. Kiha-Pū! I must hurry. Dawn is breaking. The imu awaits my master, said Puapualenalena. Enuiu! I am big. At once, he became 30 feet tall. He grabbed the shell in his strong teeth and hurried away. In his haste, Puapualenalena tripped and fell. Kiha-Pū rolled down the trail ahead of him, sounding like thunder. The noise awakened the sleeping uhane, who immediately saw that Kiha-Pū was missing. But the sun had risen, and the uhane, creatures of the night, could not follow. Kiha-Pū tumbled down the trail so fast that Puapualenalena could not catch it. On and on the magic conch rolled until it crashed into the wall of the heiau. The noise awakened everyone in Waipio. Puapualenalena changed himself back to his normal size. He stood proudly by Kiha-Pū. The chiefess and her people were overjoyed. She freed the old man and favored them both with mailele. The choicest of my avalands are yours, she said. The sacred Kiha-Pū was back in the heiau of Pakaalana. From that day on, there was peace in Waipio Valley.
Hope you enjoyed the story of Puapualenalena. Come back and join me when Tutu Malia reads more stories from all over the world. Aloha! Ahui ho! Aloha wau iā ʻoe!